Sarah and Kirby, and we just got back from a week-long trip from Lincoln City, Oregon, which is on the coast. And we had recently purchased some cameras and decided to record our adventures. This is our first time renting a trailer, and we had an adventure, and we want to share our experience with you.
Okay, so let's dive in.
Let's dive in.
Yeah, you need to come over to the driver's side more.
Okay.
Okay, now start to straighten her out. Now get her towards the passenger.
Like that?
Yep,
Okay, I can't see my box anymore, so are we good?
we're good. Keep coming, stop.
So this is 2014 Palomino Solaire, and it is a dual pop-out on the front and the backs. We have our controls right here, which the awning was electric, so it was pretty easy. All we had to do was flip the switch and it went out. We also have a way to see how our tanks are doing, and our living room light is here, our porch light. The cool thing is the awning actually has a light out on the canopy out there, so that was really convenient. So right here is the first bed that you come across, and we are using it for our storage so that we have plenty of space and walkway. The really cool thing too is these lights. There's speakers here too, but this thing here, it comes with a fan and a light that you can plug in here and snap onto here, so that way you have more airflow and also light when you need it later on in the day. And then as we enter into here, the thermostat, we have our hooks all set up. Our little bathroom in here. One person only, obviously. I would want to put a mirror here, so that way when you have one person in there working on whatever they're working on, their hair or their makeup, or you kind of have the other person out here helping with grooming and stuff too. We have our lovely sink and cutting board all in one. Dual-sided. We have our oven and stove, microwave, itty-bitty, storage, the fridge, the built-in radio system, which you could hook up a TV. And you have like the speakers are playing all over. You can even play the speakers outside. Bluetooth. Then you have your dining area, which then this folds down and this makes a sleeper. You have the couch, which then that folds out and makes a sleeper. And then you have the secondary bed.
These are going pretty well. Long day. Very, very long day. 500 and something miles, 13 hours and some change driving. Like it was.
The funny thing with it though is we planned 8 hours.
Yeah.
8 hours we were going to be in the truck, on the road, whatnot. It turned into 13 hours.
Yeah. Didn't account for stops, didn't count for fuel, didn't count for traffic through Portland, the weird little random stops that we ended up making to IKEA, so.
Hey, okay, I've never been to IKEA. I can now say I have been to IKEA, and I've eaten at IKEA, and that won't happen ever again. But I want to go back.
Yeah. I had to drag her out of IKEA. I had to constantly go, hey, we're supposed to pick up the trailer in 20 minutes on the other side of Portland. hey, we need to go pick up the trailer. Hey, I'm leaving you here to go pick up the trailer if we don't go. Like,
There was a lot of interesting stuff. I mean, we could use a lot of it.
yeah. So.
It was just really cool. I loved the way they had everything set up, like on display, like these fake rooms and this fake apartment, and show you how you can use everything.
Cool thing though, before we got into Portland was Multnomah Falls.
Yes,
So-
Multnomah Falls. That was actually really, really nice. I would advise to reserve your time there, because when we got there, there was a sign out.
Yeah, so due to the pandemic, there is, I guess, a lot of national parks and a lot of national recreation areas are doing a reservation system to limit the amount of guests, and phone service is spotty at best out in that area. So trying to get the reservation done on our phone from their parking lot was a little difficult.
It was challenging.
Thankfully, the staff there was very understanding. I don't think we were the first ones to run into that issue. But
The comment was, all we ask is that you try, and
Yeah.
you did. And
So-
so she guided us to what we needed to do next, and we got in, and we didn't go to the second bridge up. We went to the first
Yeah.
platform. I was not expecting to stop, so I was wearing flip-flops. And I was already starting to feel walking in these flip-flops. I was starting to get blisters.
Oh.
So, definitely wear tennis shoes. It looks like the top area has a beautiful view, as you can see in the clip. But it was still pretty. It was amazing. You could see it from the parking lot. You walk underneath this tunnel. We had to walk through a tunnel underneath the highway, so it's actually pretty cool. And it's echoes. So,
Here we go.
let's go check it out. So it runs underneath the eastbound highway here on 84. And it's just lined with single tile.
We booked our trailer through a site called RVShare. It's kind of Airbnb for trailer rentals. I still have not been able to come up with a better description for that. Really smooth process. Got there. Trailer was, in the driveway, pretty much ready to go.
Ready
Just
to
had
go.
to unlock the hitch. Everything else was ready on it. Talked with the folks that owned it. They gave us a quick walkthrough. Because this is our first time ever renting a trailer, gave us actually really, really thorough how everything works.
Showed us where when we first get here, where the chalk blocks are,
Yeah.
where the leveling thing is, just from start to finish, the steps that they do or recommend doing with their,
Yeah.
it's their trailer. They know
Yeah.
what they're doing with it. So they provided those tips, and it was really neat. The battery was fully charged. The tanks, the gray water and the sewage tanks were emptied,
Yeah.
and the propane was full. So
Yeah, so definitely really cool. I have been very happy with it. I think for the cost, I think it's been a very cost effective while we figure out what it is that we are going to be getting.
hey, so do you remember Depoe Bay?
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of funny that we saw that boat coming into this world's smallest harbor, and you couldn't get there fast enough to record him coming into that little harbor.
No. So yeah, we finally ended up getting over there into the right side, and yeah, he's like all the way over there, like getting ready to dock. It was kind of surprising how quick you got in there.
It was, because it's so small.
Yeah.
It was crazy, but it was just like you took off with the camera, and I'm like, run, Forrest, run!
I know, and I thought I was gonna make it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get him right there in the harbor, and well, he was in the harbor just all the way over there, but
But I think we had a lot of fun with the shops.
yeah.
There's a lot to see in the shops. There was a wine tasting, there was an art gallery, and the cool thing too about it was the fact that the ocean was right there.
Oh yeah. So yeah, the ocean's right on the other side of the highway. There's no buildings over there. But yeah, there's a lot of these just really cool little restaurants and all these cool little shops. And able to actually find some really cool little trinkets and some saltwater taffy too.
Oh, holy smokes. The only O name they have is Livia. Pink, purple, or gold? Or silver?
Purple.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Get it. You know you want it.
I don't have anywhere to put it right now, but
Your laptop?
now we're going to do that guy for the laptop.
Why is it not focusing? That's the problem I'm noticing. Matthew.
So we just finished up breakfast over here at Vivian's Restaurant and Barbecue. Awesome little hidden gem. It's a little bit off of 101, but not a very far drive to get some absolutely amazing home-cooked food. This is actually the second time we've had breakfast here. Found them off a Google review, and we're really glad that we ended up coming here. Both of us ended up getting this kind of chew egg breakfast platter. Eggs perfectly well done, meats excellently cooked. They do smoked meats as well for both breakfast and as well as kind of their barbecue dinner. But one of the really cool things about this restaurant is not only the really good food, but really cool view. All the tables sit right against Devil's Lake, which is a public lake here in Lincoln City, and then the headwaters to the D River that flows out into the ocean. But yeah, excellent food. Would highly recommend if you are here in Lincoln City, making a stop here at Vivian's and having an amazing breakfast or dinner.
We happened onto one of the beaches at Lincoln City and got to witness the tail end of a water rescue in action.
Yeah, so what ended up happening, there were 3 teenagers out on boogie boards, and one of them ended up getting caught in a rip current and couldn't get back to shore, and North Lincoln Fire and Rescue was dispatched along with the Coast Guard. And they actually sent 3 of their, what they call water rescue Humvees down to the beach. So thankfully the surfer, they were unharmed. They were really quickly able to be reunited with their family. But it was kind of cool to actually see them in action. We were talking with some of the folks who were there when this happened, and they were saying that it was like less than 90 seconds from the time that they showed up on scene to the time that they were actually had watercraft in the water and were on the way out to rescue. And it's really cool how they have these set up. We got a quick clip of it. Basically, they're set up with the jet skis with a system basically built into the back of the truck that they just back into the water and just launch right out of there with the rider on board. And I think it's a pretty cool little system that they have.
It was actually the first time I've ever seen anything in action like that before, and it was sad that it had to happen, but an interesting experience altogether. It was definitely part of our adventure.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, very thankful that
Everyone came out
Everyone,
okay.
yeah, everybody came out okay.
All 3 kids, they were able to get back to the mainland, and everybody applauded after the final kid came back. So it was like a moment of silence, and everybody was just watching, and then they're pulling in the final kid, and there was applause. It was actually an interesting scene to witness. Our drive there and back exceeded our time expectations. We originally thought it was going to be a 6-hour there and a 6-hour back. The total time there with all our stops and everything else came to about a little over 12 hours.
No, it was like closer to 14.
14, because we stopped in Portland, we stopped at IKEA, Multnomah Falls, lots of pit stops. So I mean that was a big time consumer there. And then we stopped in McMinnville when we got the trailer and did our grocery shopping.
Yeah.
So that's another. The trip back, we thought, okay,
We don't have all these stops. We're just gonna straight back to Idaho, and we were still
13 hours.
13 hours. Yeah, I mean it was.
By the time we pulled in last night at probably 10 o'clock, we showered and went straight to bed. We didn't even unload the truck. We were just,
Everything.
we were done.
Yeah, everything lived in there except for what we needed for the night. But overall, I think the trip was really good. I think we both had a lot of fun. Really loved this kind of concept, being able to rent the trailers. I still have not been able to come up with a better description besides it's Airbnb for travel trailers.
It is.
And that's basically what it is, and it's a really, really cool concept. But yeah, so the price we ended up paying per night ended up being everything. Propane generator usage. We never ran the generator because we had shore power. Kind of basic amenities, pots, pans, plates, silverware. Due to the whole endemic thing that we have going on right now is we have need to bring our own bedding, but I don't know if I'd really feel comfortable using somebody else's bedding.
I wouldn't either. I would rather have bring our own bedding and everything, and then strip them out. We even took it a step further. Once as soon as we were done, and we disinfected the whole entire trailer. Like it was, we were given to it in nice condition. I mean, it looked almost newish, to be honest. They take really good care of their trailer. It's clearly. They had all the hookups available for the sewage. They even had gloves for us that we didn't even think about. But we do know that for future reference. But it's also a good way to test out trailers because we're interested in buying a trailer for our future endeavors, but we're not quite sure what size is going to work for us. So now with this whole RVShare thing, we can test out a couple different trailers, different sizes. What can our truck actually pull comfortably? What's comfortable for us, and kind of like do a trial and see if it's something that we like. And then if we do, we'll go buy that same trailer. But until then, it's trailer shopping. You could either go to a yard and walk through a bunch of trailers, or
go
find the trailer,
take it out for a few days or a week, and really get to know it.
So, one of the things I did like with that concept too, with the person that we just rented from at the end of our trip, he gave some interesting pointers that we never even would have thought of.
And after talking with him, I personally really liked the trailer we were in. I thought it was a really good size, but after talking with them, I'm actually kind of steered away. And one thing that he was sharing is, if you kind of remember back to us getting everything set up, is those tent flaps that kind of fold down. Even though it only took a couple minutes, for each one to kind of get it in there, he made a very interesting comment about kind of going and doing this like boondock traveling and like different spot every day. That he was saying by the end of that week, they hated that trailer.
Because you're having to unfold, set up, take down, set up on both sides of it too, and it's not just an easy push of the button. It slides in. It's okay,
somebody on the inside.
You got to get the bed out of there now. Now you got to pull out the support pole and everything else. Now we got to make sure it's folding in right. Now we got to, it's easier to set it up. It's not as easy to put it back.
So really good ideas have another trip coming up in September that we're going to be taking a little bit bigger of a trailer out. This one's only going to be for about 3 days, so it's going to be a relatively short trip, but
Shorter, but a bigger trailer.
but will give us kind of an idea. Right now, we're kind of in the process of, do we need a slide out?
Mm-hmm.
Is it something that we need, or is it something that we want?
Is it a need
Yeah.
or a necessity at this point?
So
So
yeah, so this next one's going to be without the slide out. I think it's a little bit better designed. So hopefully we'll kind of see after that kind of what direction we need to start looking for our permanent trailer.
if you haven't done the RVShare thing though, and even if you're not interested in buying a trailer and you just don't want to do the tent thing either, and you have a vehicle that can tow, or even if you don't, there are some trailers out there in a local area that wherever you're going to be or want to be, they'll drop off the trailer, they'll deliver it and just have it set up there, and then they'll come pick it up. Extra charge, of course, keep that in mind. But if you haven't done it before, I highly recommend it. We had a really good experience our first time. We had an incident. We had a power issue with the direct current, the DC, the battery. Let me just say the battery. Let's not get technical here, okay? The battery, the converter wasn't repowering it up, and we were using so much of the battery that we drained the battery. And he was awesome. Got somebody out there the very next morning, because it happened at night, right? So nothing can be done at that point in time.
Yeah, well, it was something that we were gone all day too.
Yeah.
So we came back to the lights not turning on.
Came back to a half dead trailer.
Yeah, I mean, it was everything that ran off the shore power had power, but yeah, unfortunately, everything else didn't. So yeah, it got kind of interesting, some troubleshooting over the phone. But yeah, ended up being, I think, a really good solution. Yeah, but I mean, by 9 a.m. the next morning, yeah, it was fixed, ready to go, and you know, I couldn't have asked for a situation like that to be handled.
I thought it was
Any
really
better,
cool
yeah.
that they came to the campsite. It was a mobile RV repair rig, and very professional. He was very nice and understanding, and super friendly, you know. And he fixed it within 30 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
He obviously knew what he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, we didn't know what we were doing.
So.
We were just trying to figure out what the issue was, but we did.
We got it.
We were on the right track. We just didn't know how to fix it.
We just didn't have the tools to do it with us. So, anyways, so kind of maybe final thoughts on Lincoln City.
It's beautiful.
Mhm.
I love it there. I want to go back. We had a lot of fun, even though it did rain most of the time, and we were trailer bound most of the time. But it was a good experience. Like, I wish we would have been able to find the glass balls that you were wanting to find, but I don't know if the timing was off or what. But the little shops there are really interesting. I enjoyed going through the shops. I really enjoyed finding that hidden gem of restaurant, Vivian's.
Yes.
Those potatoes, oh my gosh, were really good. And I'm very picky eater, and I ate everything off my plate there.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. I can't wait to go back.
Yeah, no, and I really like Lincoln City. It's, I would say, probably one of my top 5 on the Oregon coast cities
Yeah.
to stay in. It's big enough that it seems like it's a bigger town, small enough you still get that small coastal, you know, kind of town experience. And you're 2 hours outside of Portland, which, I mean, obviously is the largest, you know, city in Oregon.
Yeah.
You know, so if you need to go in for major shopping, you know, major medical stuff, you're only 2 hours away from town there. And again, I absolutely love it. So,
I do too.
but yeah, we'll have to do another one.
We'll have to next year.
Yeah.
We go to the coast once a year, so
So-
that was our year coast.
Yeah.
Now we'll plan for our next year trip. We kind of scoped out some new campsites that we want to look at, but
See what's available.
we're gonna see what's available. So we hope you enjoyed our wonderful adventure, and maybe you learned something from it. From our learning experience, we definitely learned a great deal, but we definitely want to move forward with our goal and having a trailer by next year. So
I definitely agree.
yeah.
All right. Well, perfect. Well, until next time.
See ya.